Hello, this is Kate from Daily Tarot Girl, and welcome to your weekly tarot card reading. For this week's reading, I'm using one of my cat decks. I haven't read with a cat deck in a long time, so this is Tarot of the Pagan Cats. All right, so welcome to my channel if you're new, and if you're returning, welcome back. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. It really helps my channel. And I'm going to be doing kind of a little mini forecast reading into the week ahead. And as always, my intention is just to see what kinds of upcoming energies and opportunities are going to be coming up for us. And really just my intention is to kind of get some fresh ideas and fresh insights about the week ahead. So the card for Monday and Tuesday, beginning of the week, is Four of Pentacles. And I'm actually going, just because these cards are so detailed, I'm just going to zoom in a little here. Okay, so we've got Four of Pentacles. Now I love this deck because the body language of the cats, I think, really kind of illustrate what the card is all about. So if you're ever in doubt, just look at the body language of the cats on these cards. So the Four of Pentacles cat, he's sitting, he kind of looks comfortable, but kind of not. His ears look a little funny. He's got this funny look on his face. He looks a little bit like he's kind of hesitant a little bit uptight maybe. He's guarded. That's the word I'm looking for. He's kind of guarded. So Four of Pentacles, how do I describe this feeling that I get with the Four of Pentacles? Something that we might struggle with at the beginning of the week this week is feeling almost like we have to kind of protect something, or it's almost a feeling of being introverted, but introverted because the thought of being extroverted brings a sense of like fear and unpleasantness. So it's this sort of keeping to oneself, but not in like a healthy way. So cards like the Hermit and the Four of Swords and even the High Priestess are cards of solitude and journeying inward in a helpful, healthy way. Four of Pentacles is more like, staying home and pouting and closing all the blinds and being kind of cranky and keeping things to yourself. And be like, I don't want to share. I don't want to be around people. I don't want to share. So it's kind of that feeling. That's kind of the overall vibe I'm getting with this card. So that might be how you might be feeling as you kind of enter this week a little bit. Another way of looking at this card is Four of Pentacles is about conserving something, conservation, keeping something to yourself, maybe conserving money, being really careful in how you spend your time. So this isn't a bad card to get. It's saying, approach this week from a place of sort of conservation. So be careful how you spend your money. Think about how you're spending your time. Think about what you're putting your energy into. Things like that. So that's kind of a positive way of looking at this card, is being mindful of how you use your resources, whether those resources are money, time, energy, etc. But again, the challenge here, it seems to be something about, we may just all want to stay at home this week and close our blinds. Let's see what the other cards are. Let's see what else comes up. Okay, Queen of Cups. All right. So Queen of Cups, she's also in some ways kind of inward focused. Not really inward focused, but like her whole thing is the realm of emotions and feelings. I think of the Queen of Cups as being like a really good counselor, someone who's very empathetic, a really good listener, as really good at just kind of holding a space for you. So that's kind of what comes to mind when I look at this card. Now, For some reason, I'm having trouble coming up with words. I'm going to take a sip of my tea. While I do that, I want you to gaze at this card. Notice what symbol you are most drawn to. So take a moment to look at this card. There's lots of different symbols. Notice what symbol you're most drawn to, and then I'm going to tell you what it means in a minute. Okay, so if you're like me and you're drawn to the goldfish in the bowl, I feel like this could mean, I feel like this is about holding a space for yourself, and particularly holding a space for any emotions or feelings that come up this week. You don't have to do anything with those feelings or emotions. They don't necessarily mean anything. You don't have to analyze them, but just accepting them as they are and kind of being like, okay, I feel this way. This feeling is coming up for me, and it's okay that feeling is coming up. Kind of just holding a space for those feelings. If your attention was drawn to the cliffs in the background, I feel like there's maybe some sort of challenge that you're going to be working on overcoming this week. And I think it's tied to the emotions, some sort of emotional roadblock, something that you're going to be working on. If your attention was drawn to this funny little cup thing with the wings at the bottom, I feel like there's some sort of gift, some sort of opportunity that will arise for you this week. And it's something that's tied to the emotional realm. So it might be an opportunity to finally let go of a particular emotion, or finally understand what's going on for you emotionally, or an opportunity to connect with another person on a deeper emotional level. But I definitely feel like that symbol represents opportunity. Now, if your attention was drawn to all the beautiful colored pebbles, I feel like this is going to be a magical week for you. This is going to be a magical week of discovery and maybe even a bit of solitude. There's something about these first two cards that seem to be supporting kind of a little bit of solitude, spending time on your own. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the last card. Okay, so here we have Knight of Wands. So interesting because last week we had Pentacles in this spot, then we had Ace of Swords here, and then we had Ace of Wands there. So that shift into fire mode, this fiery energy for the third card, this is the second week where we've had that. So that's kind of interesting. So the Knight of Wands is a very passionate card. This is all about drive. This is all about going after your dreams and really giving something your all, but only putting your energy into things that light you up and interest you, something that you're passionate about. So the Knight of Wands goes after the things that interest him, that he's passionate about. He loves an adventure, and he loves a quest. And so that's the main takeaway I get from this card, is that this weekend, if you have a specific goal, so some sort of quest, especially if it feels a little bit adventurous, a little bit new or different, that's really going to help you harness your energy in a really powerful way. So what kind of a quest can you go on this weekend? What kind of a goal might you set for yourself? Or, what kind of thing do you want to focus on this weekend? Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is also about moving forward, feeling energized, feeling inspired on your path when it comes to your work or creative projects. Okay, let's look at all three of these cards together. It's interesting to me that all the cats are being quite still. Even the Knight of Wands, he's just riding on the back of the fox. like he himself is still. He's kind of crouched. All the cats are quite still. And I do think that perhaps a little bit of stillness and a little bit of solitude might be helpful this week. You just don't want to isolate yourself too much. You don't want to get in that trap of isolating yourself, but a little solitude, a little stillness can go a long way. And I'm just looking to see if there's anything else I want to add here. These are 4 very different cards. I would say the beginning of the week, you might feel a little bit stuck. You might feel a little bit blocked, and you might just not feel inspired about anything. You might feel a little bit meh, and like things just aren't really moving. But by the end of the week, it feels like things pick up. The energy shifts, things pick up. There's more of a spark, more energy, more movement happening. And I think the key to making that shift lies in the Queen of Cups. It lies in being able to sit with yourself, being able to fully accept yourself, wherever it is that you're at, really meeting yourself where you're at, accepting how you are right now, and kind of holding a space for yourself and allowing whatever feelings, whatever emotions want to kind of bubble up to the surface, allowing them to be there and not putting pressure on yourself to figure things out or to solve anything, but just allowing and holding a space for those things is what's going to help you kind of make that shift from here to here. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this reading helpful. If you want to check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com, I've got tons of fun tarot resources. I've got tarot spreads. I've got how-to videos. I've got videos on all the court cards and the major arcanas and a couple of the minor arcanas. So be sure to check it out. I'll put a link below. So thanks again for watching, and have a good week.